Hey. Sup? Hi. If you're new around here, welcome. And if you're not new around here, what is up, home skillet biscuit? I don't need to tell you that the world is in shambles. I've been MIA for about 2 weeks. None of that was restful, by the way. None of that was a fun time. None of that was vacation, as you can imagine, given the context of America right now, especially as a Black woman in America. Much of the time that I've been away has just been me crying and raging and feeling this happiness that's quite hollow when things seem to be changing, at least, you know, the initial changes based off of civil unrest. Convictions are another thing, but at least arrests that would not have happened. Just the exhaustion from following the sheer myriad of different cases that have all been brought to light all at once. And it's like, damn. I had my first panic attack. Don't recommend it. And it's just been a fun time. It's been great. I've been very vocal on all of my social media, but I have not done a video on the events of recent, simply because I did not have the energy. A few things that have happened that I want to say really quick before we get into today's video. One, I did a Netflix party in which we all watched the documentary called 13th on Netflix. If you haven't heard of it, framework for understanding the US police system. It's actually a great documentary to give you some more insight if you would like to learn more, which I encourage everyone to at some point learn significantly more about this particular topic. Then after that, a fellow YouTuber named Jessica Vu had a similar live stream type thing while watching the movie Just Mercy, which is available for free on pretty much all platforms this month. Again, if you would like to get more insight on the topic of American policing and police brutality, and particularly what that means in relation to Black and Brown communities, I think it's a very important time. It's been a time. It's still hard for me to kind of talk about. I highly encourage people to get involved in whatever capacity you can. I'm going to be donating whatever AdSense comes from this video. Usually the most AdSense comes in that the 48 hours after a video is posted. So whatever money is made in that 48 hours, I will be donating that. And also whatever it is, I'm going to double it with my own money. Going to be donating that to Campaign Zero, which is basically an organization that focuses on ending police brutality. So with all the heaviness of this year just won't quit, will it? I went to Twitter and I said that, hey, can I get like a really nothing ass movie? Like, I want a movie that has no real deep things to look into. The most benign and stupid ass movie that you could possibly send me. And one that came up quite often is this movie. I didn't introduce this series this week. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. It's Saturday. Happy Saturday. If you're new around here, well, wait, I already did that. What? Your girl's been gone for 2 weeks and I don't even know how to talk. Okay, it's Saturday. Happy Saturday. And if you don't know what Saturday is when I do a little something on my channel called Bad Movies in a Beat, series on my channel where I talk about bad movies while I put my makeup on. Last time, which who knows how long ago it was, I did a video on John Henry. Awful movie, just truly awful. Also, it got flagged for being mature content, so if you haven't seen that video, it's probably because it didn't get shared to you. So if you want to check it out, it'll be linked up above, as well as all the other movies in the Bad Movies in a Beat playlist. And this week, like I said, I was looking for a movie that was completely and utterly benign and completely pointless. I wanted something mild and nonsensical, and something that would completely and utterly take me away from the hellhole that is 2020. And alas, when I was recommended the 2007 kids movie BRATZ, the movie, I figured, hey, what better time to look at something childish and stupid? I would first like to go on record and explain kind of my background, my experience, my relationship, if you will, with BRATZ dolls, for which, of course, this movie is named after. I was a big BRATZ fan as a kid. Ooh, I got all the girls. I was very multicultural, and looking back on that as an adult, I'm like, wow, that was really cool that they did focus so much on like having different ethnicities of dolls, and they were all just so cool. For Barbies, it always felt like the Barbies of color felt very much so like an afterthought. Whereas the BRATZ dolls kind of just felt like, yeah, we're the cool, hip, urban, whatever that means, style of doll, and we dress better, and we got big lips and nice eyebrows, and we wear our makeup, and we got our ponytails. Basically, every BRATZ doll looks like Ariana Grande in some varying shade of tan. I loved the animated movies. I saw quite a few of them as a kid. I had some of the boy BRATZ, and I'll make them do the little hanky-panky, but just banging, just banging plastic flat in the front dolls together. I listened to the music. I actually really liked, I could burst my bubble, just try, why don't you? La 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 na 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 na. I don't care what they say, I don't care what they do. Know how to dare, we know how to dream. Night is night, what we wanna be will be. So good, dancing on the air feels so good. If I recall correctly, they had like a Saturday morning cartoon show too, and I would catch that every once in a while when I woke up early enough. I even had the Rock Angels PC game. I was in deep. I say all that to say, at no point did I want to see this movie. And so it kind of like came and went, and here I am, 2020, a whole ass adult, and I'm watching this for the first time. And I can't help but wonder, would 12-year-old Kendall have been really into this movie? And I gotta say no. I don't think she would have really resonated with this movie. It's trash. And here I am, 25 years old, looking to ignore the realities, the harsh realities of systematic racism by watching a live action movie about dolls, essentially. First mistake. The movie begins with fashion bitch, because brats have a passion for fashion, and we will see into the homes of each of the brats girls, essentially learn the beautiful stereotypes that wrap around them specifically. We have Lele Pons over here that has to be very emphatic to let you all know that she is indeed Latina by speaking Spanish and having her own mariachi band in her kitchen. And she's supposed to be Yasmin. Okay. Soon thereafter, we meet Sasha, a rich child in the middle of the most amicable divorce custody battle in history. Next up, we have Jade, the Asian one, and the only one that is half white. For some reason. She has an overbearing, perfectionist mother and blue hair stripes. Then we have Chloe, the clumsy blonde who is poor. The girls are freshmen in high school, so they're supposed to be 13 years old. A brooding hot 25-year-old teenager. And their whole thing is that they're super well dressed and they're really ready to stick it to the new year. And it really got me thinking, I remember when I was 13, I was not particularly well dressed. But that's because I went to a school that had uniforms as a way to level the playing field socioeconomically amongst all of these majority black students. Though the school had no money anyway, due to property tax laws that were just supposed to be reflective of systematic racism. But here I am trying to detach, so. But yes, they're fashionistas and they garner a lot of attention very quickly on going into school. Soon thereafter, we meet what is essentially the bad girl villain, so to speak, of the movie. Her name is Meredith, and she's the student body president. She is also the daughter of the principal, so good old nepotism. And she, in many ways, is the moderator of student life by creating a sort of caste system of students broken down by cliques.
You have the goths, the skaters, the disco jorts, the b-boy blingers, the gangsters.
Did y'all notice they only showed the black kids when they said b-boy blingers, and no one, there's kind of this vague assumption what the gangsters look like? Oh, yeah, I hate the system. And the reflection of life does not cease thereafter, because we're soon introduced to Meredith's father, the principal, who is obviously ill-equipped to do his job and unsure about it. So instead of, being an educator and administrator, he's just looking up how to run a prison. That hit too close to home. That's my fault. The system is everywhere. But anyway, the girls make their entrance into the school, and you start to immediately feel the tension, so to speak, because they have no interest in finding their way in a particular clique at first. and instead would like to just find their own place and find their own particular respective friend groups while staying friends with each other. Jay goes into the science room and does something that is only be described as straight up reckless. Sasha dances poorly for cheer practice, and she also finishes with a flourish with a white stunt double. Chloe plays soccer and impress this dude who's supposed to be Cameron, who may or may not be Meredith's boyfriend. They never really explain that very well, because if he is actually dating her, he's been mad disrespectful the entire movie. But then again, he is a teenage boy, so he's probably just the worst boyfriend ever. And then Yasmin wants to sing, particularly in the choir, but she has a lot of stage frights, so she's not really sure how she would, you know, be able to enjoy that particular interest of hers. So she sees the choir, she freaks out, and she ends up running into Dylan, which results in easily one of the best scenes from this movie.
Hey, where you're going? Are you blind?
No, but I'm deaf.
What? You don't sound deaf.
Well, you don't look ignorant, but I guess you can't judge a book, right?
Ha! So the girls effectively become rebels in this unjust schooling system, and they essentially decide to sit where they would like to, despite having a rich white girl tell them where to go. Power to the people. But alas, the system is a system, and therefore eventually it takes hold, and it results in the girls effectively being separated into their own respective clubs. This inevitably results in infighting, and it comes a point that the girls actually stop talking to each other or just don't really have a whole lot of interactions for about 2 years. So it's the beginning of junior year now, because 2 years have passed, and the girls learn about this year's talent show, which will ultimately result in someone winning a scholarship to a school of their choosing. That's that suburban property tax money at work. Systematic racism. Y'all should know more now than ever. Yeah. Later, we see Dylan, the deaf kid, who is incredibly multifaceted. He's not... I just had a thought. Oh my god, did they think that out? Okay, so Dylan's a jock. How does he hear when they do the whistle while playing football? I just had that thought. That's a valid question, isn't it? Is he always just a little bit later than ever? I'm sorry. I'm genuinely, I don't know. But he's also really into music. But he's really sad because he can't hear it. The music teacher comes in and he teaches him how to feel the music, which begs me to question, how did no one in this 16-year-old's life realize that he could feel the vibrations of music to enjoy it? Why is your music teacher teaching you that? I feel like his pediatrician should have said, hey, you can probably use, but of course there's like this montage of him learning how to feel music. So Cameron, who's Meredith's maybe boyfriend, maybe like the worst boyfriend ever. Maybe. They don't ever say like, yeah, they're in a relationship. And he never like acts like they're in a relationship. He's just kind of near her and she like kisses him, but he didn't look like he was really into it, which is sexual assault, by the way. Just because it's a girl doesn't mean. So if y'all really not dating and you have no reason to believe that he would kiss you back, this is a weird ass scene. Anyway, he's really into Chloe, and for some reason he's just always in her personal space. They like each other, so I guess it's fine. And anyway, him being so interested in Chloe ends up making Meredith jealous, so she sends her puppy to trip Chloe, which results in this giant chain of events that results in some very comical and cartoonish food fighting. Side note, I've been in one food fight in my life, and I say in it not because I threw anything, because I thought it was disgusting. I was such a prude. Like, how often do you get a chance to have a food fight in your life? But it got in my hair, and I said, I'm all right. Big old huge food fight that results in the girls getting detention. Now, like I said, the girls hadn't really talked to each other much in the last 2 years. So this is the first time they've actually had the opportunity to sit down, talk to each other. It results in a lot of passive aggression, which turns to actual aggression. Sasha ends up hitting Chloe with the "that's why your mama dead, but dad edition."
Sasha, at least we don't buy our friends with our daddy's bank account. Only because you don't have a dad or a bank account.
But they eventually get back together. So after 2 years of non-contact, the girls are finally back as friends, back as a crew, whatever. Later, because she's Latina, Yasmin is singing with her mother La Cucaracha while wearing a face mask, and her little brother, for some reason, is this little creeper that goes in and takes a video of it. He later, for some reason, ends up over Meredith's house. They never really explain that. Like, he's in her pool. He just ends up at their pool. Little creeper ass. Little 12-year-old boys are just so creepy, dude. They really are. They're just disgusting. And to, I guess, win her favor, he gives the video of his sister to Meredith, and she keeps it on this like flash drive of secrets. So around this time, I started to notice that this movie was dragging, but I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was. And then I realized it's because this movie is like 80% montage. It's a montage about shopping. It's a montage about making friends. It's a montage about losing friends. It's a montage for literally everything. It got to the point where I was like, y'all don't actually have a story. You just blend together scene to scene with a montage. There was a montage for auditioning for the talent show, which for once was actually somewhat enjoyable. That scene untapped the deepest, darkest recesses of my mind by showing me NLT and Prima J. Girl, NLT made like 3 songs. I have a really good memory for song lyrics for some reason in English. Not Korean ones, it's kind of like in and out, but in English, I'll remember the most random songs. Deadass, I have not heard these songs since 2007. I was telling you, my heartburn got me down the rabbit hole. She said, baby, can you please just stay? Like, baby, last time. Baby, I'm sorry, I think it's time we let go. And then Prima J made like 1 song. You hate 'cause I'm a rock star. A rock star. Honestly, if you end the movie right here, we're ending on a good note. But despite it feeling a million miles long, we're only like 45 minutes into the movie. And damn, most of it I'm probably editing out in this Bad Movies in a Beat because it's a montage. Now, the girls are setting a rebellious example by staying friends, but that rebellion is starting to cause social unrest in the school because people care that much. Girl, where did y'all go to school? Didn't nobody give a crap about what anyone did at my school, but maybe that's just me. I'm also black, so I had other things to worry about. Anyway, so to help fix this problem, they decide to cross-pollinate. Of course, results in another montage. This goes well until a white boy TM puts some undesired attention towards Jade. Results in a very verbose and vascular nerd pulling out martial arts. Which somehow results in Jade teaching the football players math in yet another montage. Then there's another montage of them baking because Chloe's mom doesn't make much money, and so she needs to have a catering business, but she's been having a really hard time. She's really tired, so they offer to bake for her catering job, which, come to find out, is at Meredith's 16th birthday party. They end up eventually being servers at the party and are forced to dress as clowns, but they decide to have another montage to revamp the clown outfits, which only begs the question of why did y'all get dressed up in the first place? You couldn't have just looked at, they put on a whole ass white face. I'm laughing at the people that think white face is actually a thing, I'm sorry. But yeah, whole ass white face. Meredith comes to her own party on top of an elephant, and it begs the question of where your father gets all this money from. Starts to smell like embezzlement in here because your father is a principal. Why does he have the money to get zoo animals into your party? And of course, because this movie at this point is nothing but montages and musical numbers, Meredith has to have one of her own. It's basically about a young white rich woman talking about how hard her life was and how she was able to overcome that oppression and is now fabulous. Then, after her very unnecessarily involved musical number, for some reason she decides to call Yasmin up on stage to sing. It's assumed that she's doing this to embarrass her because she knows that she has stage fright, but like, did you really want to take the chance to be like upstaged at your own 16th birthday party? I personally wouldn't. But luckily for her, Yasmin is incredibly predictable, so yeah, she gets afraid and runs off the stage. And to embarrass her, Meredith starts playing the video of her singing La Cucaracha. Now, again, I don't know why this would embarrass her. Oh my god. The world's over. Again, I'm black, so I had other things to worry about in high school. Instead of it being like a big deal for whatever reason she thought it would be, instead it just results in a fun time. Everyone dancing to La Cucaracha. Because nothing makes sense in this movie, somehow Meredith ends up both with her face in her own cake and thrown into a pool by the elephant. So around this time, for some reason, all of the cliques threaten to get rid of the girls from their respective cliques because they don't hang out enough. They feel like in an effort to consolidate all the people in the world in this We Are the World type situation, they have to win the talent show. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but go off, sis. But anyway, they start training for this talent show, which results in, you guessed it, another freaking montage. I just want to see the written script. I want to see what the written script actually looked like. Then we have Meredith, for some reason, blackmail Yasmin because she wants her to drop out of the talent show to sabotage the talent show. Otherwise, she's going to release all this information about Chloe. Why she went to Yasmin about Chloe, I don't know. But it results in Yasmin super dramatically dropping out of the talent show, only to literally rejoin it 5 minutes later. And then we have another montage. As acts go up for the talent show and show each of their lack of talent. This, of course, is all leading up to Meredith having her number. This smell good. This Rue Gloss. Shout outs to Rocky. Why does it smell so good? What? So Meredith has her number, which is, of course, undoubtedly about her. And anyway, she's performing, and basically it's this whole big lead up to ultimately show the BRATZ. Before they can perform, Meredith is like, I am gonna basically dox all your bad deeds, which ultimately just be like Jade wears different clothes every day, someone's mom has a job, and someone eats chocolate. Again, I went to a black school, so we all had different problems, okay? It ends, of course, with BRATZ singing their own number, which is this, of course, super ridiculously large and intricate number. They bring out everybody. They bring out the choir, because you can't ever have a finishing number in any movie that has musical numbers without a choir. The talent show results in a tie between Meredith and the BRATZ. Meredith therefore gets the trophy, and the BRATZ get the scholarship because Meredith is obviously rich AF. What does she need a scholarship for? Her dad has enough money to buy her 4-ton mammals. Are elephants mammals? I don't actually know if that's true. But big ass elephant for her birthday party. He can pay for a few years of college. And of course, because all of the BRATZ are rich except for Chloe, all the money ends up going to Chloe. And then for some reason, there's an MTV recruiter at the talent show who essentially gives BRATZ a TV show. Never find out if Cameron and Chloe get together, or Dylan and Yasmin for that matter. I don't even know why we added them in there then. If we're that's the movie, by the way. That's it. That's the end of the movie. Again, one thing good came out of this entire experience. I'm got to go listen to NLT, the whole 3 songs by them that I actually like. It's the way I like it, gotta have it. That girl, you can't believe that girl is killing me. And also just the animated BRATZ songs, because they were fire. But this movie can go in the trash. It was truly awful. But yeah, I hope you guys are, I was gonna say I hope you guys are doing well, but none of us are. At this point, it's just, I hope you're not doing awful. Honestly, at the point where I'm like, this year better be the year that I grow in so many more ways than I ever thought it was possible. Otherwise, this is some bullshit. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to like this video. Follow me on all my social media, Instagram and Twitter, both of which are KennieJD. Been very, very vocal on Twitter, particularly in the last few days. So you might want to check things out there. And I will see you guys next time.